Okay, so before we head to the next mission, guess what I did? I went ahead and did the rest of the viewpoints in this new unlocked section, and guess what I found? The final codex page.
After you.
Ladies, if you wouldn't mind give them a show. Alright, I have it. So let's see, where exactly am I now? The mission is all the way over here. I could also, I'm kind of equal distance between the mission and Leonardo's place. You know what? Why don't we just go ahead and take this to Leonardo's place, and then we'll be able to go ahead and take it back to the villa.
Bring me your sick and wounded.
Isn't that illegal? Not my problem.
Salute.
Salute. Here we go. The last one.
Leonardo.
Ezio, so good to see you. How can I help you?
Haha! You found another one! How exciting!
Oh, tricky. A numerical substitution and a language shift. Give me a moment.
It's done.
And we got another health square. Alright. It's alright, relax. Relax, I'm not gonna go after you.
I have never seen a stranger man.
I distilled an elixir of lead and pomegranate.
Doctor, would you mind healing me? Grazie.
Yes, much better, friend. You'll see. All travelers arriving from the lower Dalmatian coast should be
To the villa.
Truly, I am shy. I only aim to...
I'm sure I have just what you need.
That's 13,000 florins. The final page. We have them all. Saw that one already. Let's take a look at this on Eagle Vision. That's right, we can rotate these. We'll do that later, though. Ah, that's for the Hidden Blade. What follows are the three great ironies of the Assassin Order. 1. Here we seek to promote peace, but murder is our means. 2. Here we seek to open the minds of men, but require obedience to a master and set of rules. 3. Here we seek to reveal the danger of blind faith, and yet we are practitioners ourselves. I have no satisfactory answer to these charges. The only possibilities. Wait a minute, I think I already read this. Yeah, I did. Who were the ones that came before? What brought them here? How long ago? Centuries? Millennia? Longer still? So little remains of them. What drove them out? What of these artifacts? Messages in a bottle? Tools left behind to aid and guide us? Or do we fight for control over their refuse, giving divine purpose and meaning to little more than discarded toys? Robert de Sable may be dead, but his brotherhood survives. Robert. Though less conspicuous in appearance, I fear they remain a threat. Where once they proudly walked on the streets, making for easier targets, now they retreat into the shadows. It grows difficult to track them. What wicked things will they weave in the darkness? Our work will be all the more complicated for it. Already there are rumors of a movement on Cyprus. I will have to investigate. It's made me realize our tactics, too, must change. It means an end to our fortresses, to our penchant for spectacular displays of public assassinations. We must weave our webs quietly, and we must do so differently than we have in the past. Though I ask my brothers now to abandon their rituals, I do not ask that they abandon the creed. This is what makes us assassins, not the removal of a finger, not a false promise of paradise, not the prohibition of poison. Our duty is to the people, not to custom. If we must sneak, we shall sneak. If we must use poison, we shall use poison. If our blades can be used without removing fingers, we shall not demand they be taken. And we shall not manipulate our initiates with lies and parlor tricks. We shall speak plainly and honestly. We shall be made anew. Okay. Oh wait. Yeah, I read that one already. Why do our instincts insist on violence? I have studied the interactions between different species. The innate desire to survive seems to demand the death of the other. Why can't they not stand hand to hand? So many believe the world was created by the hand of a divine power, but I see only the designs of a madman, bent on celebrating destruction and desperation. Our origins seem chaotic, unintended, purpose and being instilled solely by the passage of time, imposed first by nature and later men. As you can see, Altair sometimes was having a crisis in what he truly believed when it came to the assassins. Over time, any sentence uttered long and loud enough becomes fixed, becomes a truth, provided, of course, you can outlast the dissent and silence your opponents. But should you succeed and remove all challengers, then what remains is by default now true. Is it truth in some objective sense? No, but how does one ever achieve an objective point of view? The answer is... Oh wait, I read this one already. Image, saw that one. I read that one already. Huh. Looks like some interstellar map for each of the planets in the solar system. The Hidden Blade has been a constant companion of ours over the years. Some would even say it defines us, and they would not be entirely wrong. Many of our successes would not have been possible without it. Still, the device has begun to show its age, and so I have been researching improvements beyond ending the need to remove one's finger to wield it. The first is the addition of a metal plate that can be used to deflect incoming blows. The other assassins believe it is forged of a new metal and credit me with the discovery of the formulae included on this page. It is better that they not know the truth. I have also worked with Malik to describe new methods of assassination, from on high, from ledges, and from hiding places. Basic movements, but critical nonetheless. The third and final improvement is the most simple. The provision of a second blade, identical in every way to the first. Should an assassin ever find himself tasked with dispatching 2 targets, he need only time his strike in such a way that he might reach both at the same time. These blades will be limited in number since the metals with which we forge them remain difficult to obtain. I will need to think carefully about who shall be allowed to carry 2. That was when we got the second blade and other techniques. Man seeks dominion over all that he encounters. I suppose it is a natural tendency for us to aspire towards mastery of our surroundings, but this should not include other human beings. Every day, more and more are pressed into service, by deception or by force. Others, though not so firmly imprisoned, are made to feel as if their lives are worthless. I have seen the ways in which men persecute women, heard the cruel words hurled at those who can't come here from other lands, watched as those who believe or act differently are made to suffer. We discuss such things often, watching as we do from the spires of Masyaf. What can be done to stop this, to encourage tolerance and equality? Some days we speak of education, believing that knowledge will free us from immortality. But as I walk the streets and see slaves sent off to auction, my heart grows cold. When I see the husband hurl abuses and stones at his wife, insisting she exists only to serve him, my fists clench. And when I see children torn from their parents so that another man might profit, sent off to suffer beneath the desert sun and die. On these days, I do not think that dialogue will make a difference. On these days, I can think only of how the perpetrators need to die. Image. Huh. Cyprus in... So this is the island of Cyprus. It looks like it's on... What is that? The Mediterranean? Is that what it says? Huh. The apple is more than a catalog of that which precedes us. Within its twisting, sparking innards, I've caught glimpses of what will be. Such a thing should not be possible. Perhaps it isn't. Maybe it is simply a suggestion. How to know? How to be sure? I contemplate the consequences of these visions. Are they images of things to come, or simply the potential for what might be? Can we influence the outcome? Dare we try? And in so doing, do we merely ensure that which we've seen? I am torn, as always, between action and inaction, unclear as to which, if either, will make a difference. Am I even meant to make a difference? Still, I keep this journal. Is that not an attempt to change, or perhaps guarantee, what I have seen? Of all the things I've seen, none troubles me more than the image of the flames. Pillars so tall they seemed to pierce the heavens. The ground rumbled and shuddered. Mountains split and cracked. Great metal towers splintered, their innards strewn about the ground, and everywhere there was screaming. A chorus so terrible that even now I feel its echoes still. What is this madness I have seen? Is it them, I wonder? Those who came before? Is this where they went? Into the fire? Into the dust? Perhaps this destructive power is what the Templars seek, that they might hold it over us and command devotion. What hope would we have, then, if they held such darkness in their hands, that they could murder the world? We are obligated to hide, to be silent, to shape the course of history in secret. But some of my brothers and sisters disagree. They grow angry, insisting it is a mistake to shroud ourselves. They say it slows our work. But they do not understand the risks. To expose ourselves now would be too dangerous. I fear we would be branded madmen and attacked. So it goes. So it always has. If there is one thing I know for certain, it is that men do not learn by being told. Instead, they must be shown. They must make the connections themselves. If I say unto a man, be kind, be tolerant, be of an open mind, these words will wither and die long before they've effected change. It would be a waste. And so we must maintain our course. Legend speaks of a golden fleece. Could the two be related? I have further refined the metallurgic process, allowing for the production of a suit of armor, the likes of which the world has never seen. It is possessed of great strength, yet so light as to allow complete freedom. I alternate between wonder and fear. Here we have crafted something that will surely change the face of warfare, making those who wear it nigh invincible. Perhaps it was a mistake to create these pieces. I think it is best to erase the formula. What if it were to fall into the hands of our enemies? The risk is too great. Huh. So this is how he apparently was talking about the armor that we got. Some golden fleece. that helps make the armor very strong but very light. I have studied the ancient pagan faiths that came before this more recent obsession with a single divine creator. They seem to have focused more on the fundamental forces at play in the world around us and less on arbitrary moral rules. The sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening. The tides ebb and flow. Grass grows, withers, dies, and then in time emerges from the ground once more. The air turns warm and then cools and back again. Some hidden energy keeps us fitted to the ground and pulls us back when we attempt to leave it. Each of these movements was represented before by a god or goddess, each force given face, but recognized as something distinct and powerful, which is not to say there were not connections between these forces. A pantheon of individual spirits or of rules, invisible hands guiding the progress of the world around us. And so here there was an attempt to categorize, study, explain, and understand the way things work, even if it was flawed, but no more. Now we are asked to succumb to a far more simplified explanation. How naive to believe that there might be a single answer to every question, every mystery, that there exists a lone divine light which rules over all. So he's you could see he was arguing some of the religions. In this one, he was specifically talking about a divine creator. One may cultivate extracts from various plants found throughout the region. More exotic species can sometimes be obtained from traders and travelers, but their properties are less documented and require further examination. Traditional alchemical implements can be used to distill the poison. Care should be used, as certain poisons can be absorbed through exposed skin. Many are those who have lost their lives to carelessness. One's blade should be hallowed according to the specifications listed herein. Deviation may create fractures within the metal, causing the blade to weaken and possibly break. What to make of this map? It appears to contain the entire world. Not flat as they claim, either, but round like a ball, like the apple. But how is such a thing even possible? Stranger still are the lands it shows, great patches of the unknown, the unexplored, so many places yet to be discovered. Are there men there? Are they like us? And if not, different how? I should like to know the answers. Perhaps in time I'll have the chance to travel, to chart a course and make my way to these distant lands. An image, and is an image, I guess, of, some different running, jumping and running techniques. Some days I miss my family, or at least the thought of them. I never knew my parents well, despite them both having lived within these walls. It was our way. Perhaps they were sad, though they showed no sign it was not allowed. For my part, so much of my youth was spent in training. There was little time left to reflect upon the separation, and so when they were finally lost to me, it seemed no different than the passing of two strangers. Al-Mualim had been as my father, and this was a weak and dishonest love, though at the time it seemed enough, better even, or so I thought. Some day I will have a child, such is the way of our order, and I will not make the same mistake, nor any who call themselves an assassin. We shall be allowed to love our children, and in turn to be loved. Al-Mualim believed such attachments would weaken us, cause us to falter when our lives were on the line. But if we truly fight for what is just, does love not make such sacrifice simpler, knowing that we do so for their gain? The image on this one... Yeah. See? You guys recognize that? Who that is? Again, do you remember the woman who impersonated Robert at that funeral that Altair spared in the first game? And then earlier in this game, when Desmond was having a dream as Altair, we saw Altair have a rendezvous meeting with a woman. I guess her name was Maria. This must be her. And you can tell that she was at late from the first game because of the Templar symbol on her shirt, and she's wearing that hood. So I guess she must have left the Templars and became Altair's wife. I have the answer now. I know the truth. I shall not touch that wretched thing again. But No one do, now or ever. I have tried at last to destroy it, but it will neither bend, nor break, nor melt. Oh, the irony. I am certain if I asked, the apple would tell me what need to be done, but even this promise is insufficient. Always it holds one more gift to give. I must refrain. So it shall be sealed. We will take it to the island, once theirs, now ours. There is a treasury there, hidden well, and it shall have to suffice. Risky to separate myself from the artifact that others may discover it. Riskier still to keep it close. In time I will be tempted. I am weak. We all are. Who wouldn't be? Oh, the things I have seen. The tale is here, inside the text. Not between the lines, but beneath them, where only our eyes might peer. Go and see it for yourself, that you might succeed where I and the others have failed. Time marches on, bringing with it new discoveries and developments, and so at least one day the doorway might be opened and the message delivered. They will have their profit. We are growing larger. More make their way to our fortresses every day, men and women, young and old, from different lands, of different faiths. Each tells a similar story of having discovered the first part of our creed, that nothing is true. Too often, though, the revelation undoes them. They lose their morality, certainty, security. Many are driven mad. We must guide them, help them to heal. Their minds must not be filled with more fairy tales, but with knowledge instead. Let them have answers, and let those answers be difficult and complex. Such is life. Success! We have found a way to alter the structure of the hidden blade so that it can be used to launch small projectiles. It is capable of grievous damage, even from great distance. I must confess the means by which I came about the discovery was risky, to say the least, but I have found that in small doses, and with a focused mind, the apple can be used without ill effect, or so I hope. The knowledge of projectile combat is not new to us, but having been observed amongst our eastern neighbors, but their weapons were much larger and insufficient for our needs. I have now found a way to miniaturize their designs, embedding their fiery weapon into a form that can be worn on the wrist. We have also refined the formula for combustible powder, such that common ingredients might be used. This is a dangerous bit of knowledge, and is best shared with only our closest allies. A dark tide rises to the east, an army of such size and power that all the land is made quick with worry. Their leader is a man named Temujin, who has adopted the title Genghis Khan. He sweeps across the lands, conquering and subsuming all who stand in his way. Whatever his motives, he must be stopped. Were I younger, I might attempt to undertake this work in secret, as I suspect the presence of a piece of Eden. But those days are years gone now. The mantle must be passed. It is time she and I spoke with our sons. We will travel there together, that they may be tested and that this threat might be stopped. So eventually, Altair, was the leader of the assassins, and this apparently was years later when he was an older man and was no longer able to take up missions like in the first game. And by then, he and Maria had had sons, and I guess he was tutoring them to become assassins. Alright, the last page. Soon I shall pass from this world. It is my time. All the hours of the day are now colored by the thoughts and fears born of this realization. I know that the elements of my body will return to the earth. But what of my consciousness, my identity? That is to say, what of me? I suspect it will end, that there is no next world, nor return to this one. It will simply be done, forever. Our lives are so brief and unimportant. The cosmos cares nothing for us. For what we've done, had we wrought evil instead of good, had I chosen to abuse the apple instead of seal it away, none of it would have mattered. There is no counting, no reckoning, no final judgment. There is simply silence and darkness, utter and absolute. And so I have begun to wonder, might there be a way, not be a way to stop, or at least delay death's embrace? Surely the ones who came before were not so frail and feeble as we, but I have sworn to be done with the artifact, to not gaze into its core. Still, faced as I am with the prospect of my end, what harm is there in one last look? Huh. He contemplated it. Whoops. No, I don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and rotate that. It's easier. I've learned when it comes to puzzles, it's always easier to do the edges first, because then you can mark up the lines on the outside, and then you can work on the middle. Okay, so we got that done. Ha. You notice what it's starting to look like? Huh? Uh-huh. Huh. I think I have it right. I'm not completely sure. Oh well, we'll worry about that later.